Welcome, everyone. It is absolutely my pleasure to welcome you to this conversation on humility in politics here in the absolutely stunning, gorgeous theater of the Folger Shakespeare Library. The humanities are crucial to confronting some of the most pressing problems we face as a nation. Problems of communication, of empathy, of identity, and of belonging. But in thinking of today's problems, we must bear in mind that they are not simply problems of the present. We must grapple with the past as we attend to the present and look to the future. In doing so, we need spaces and places in which we can talk together across the lines of division and often willful misunderstanding that too frequently constrain our political discourse.
Democracy needs passionate citizens, but it also needs us to stop thinking that we know it all, to recognize our limitations, to start seeing ourselves as open to improvement from the experience of others who have different worldviews. Call that a sort of intellectual or cognitive humility. So what I'm saying is I think our democracy needs conviction. It also needs or requires intellectual humility. And this project is about balancing these two, trying to figure out how to do that.
The real dilemma here is that even in this current past election, to have humility and conviction combined with civility in the public square. And you may have noticed over the last 6 months the lack of humility in our public conversation.
The dominant narrative is one of arrogance, of not listening attentively, not admitting limitations, not crediting other people. And so I think this project and the generosity and I think the wisdom of the Templeton Foundation to try to create a counter-narrative is a good one.
There is still a kernel of an idea that I think has sustained this country throughout its existence. And that is that we are all non-perfect individuals, but as a group, we're able to exchange ideas and we're able to come up with the most reasonable solutions to our problems, the problems that confront us.
How is it realistic or even possible for concepts like character or wisdom or humility to speak to this political moment?
I'm not sure they do speak to this political moment.
Right, indeed.
I sometimes feel that what we're seeing now on the political stage, not just here, is kind of a caricature of the worst qualities of 20th century humanity. The hubris, the development of exterior accomplishment at the expense of inner life. I think this conversation and this question, this calling to humility is so much bigger than our political life.
It's so easy to take Donald Trump up here, load him on with our sins, and then cast him out as the one who's all to blame for everything. But the point about humility is all about us. And two things I notice in the public sphere is that we are an over-politicized and under-moralized culture. We're super easy to talk about politics, and I do plenty of it. But how many people in the country are talking consistently about inner moral life? But there's humility all around us, and there's a hunger for that.
As much as we want our politicians to be humble and vulnerable, that we do not reward that. It is not in their interest.
Right.
Even in the most kind of mature, thoughtful way, to say 20 years ago, I voted for this, I was wrong, I've changed my mind. We castigate them for that.
Right.
So that actually has to change in our culture before we're going to get to this political realm we're kind of dreaming of here today.
But it's true for all of us. Think of if somebody challenges your opinion,
Right.
think how quickly your immediate response is, no, I was right.
Yeah.
That's like a millisecond.
Right.
And I find that all the time. And for a politician, it's doubly worse because your enemies are emboldened and your friends are betrayed.
Right.
And so there's no political percentage of admitting error. And as a result, for politicians, what I notice in them is over time, with rare exceptions, they're not good at quieting the self. And so the inner voice just begins to evaporate over the years.
This is only the beginning of an effort to see humility and conviction brought more closely into dialogue in the interest of improving a public discourse that seems overwhelmed by partisan acrimony. We hope that you'll be interested to further that effort in your own personal and professional lives and in the ways that you see fit. Clearly, we have a lot to do.